you like? Okay, here. So you can make up a quote, you can think of one you've heard before that you really like. If you need to look at your phone, you can, that's fine. But yeah, try to write a quote on there. Alright, so you're getting out your bell work from yesterday, and you're doing this next sentence down the list.
So I'm going to read you the sentence, and then I'm going to give you 3 minutes, and then I'm going to start calling on people. And then when I call you, you're going to come up and you're going to fix the sentence that you see fit. So the sentence is, at the zoo, we encountered an anteater with a large proboscis. But its huge nose is appropriate because it needs to smell in order to find its food. So what do we need to fix this sentence to make it better? Because right now it's pretty alright. I would give it probably a 5 out of 10. But what can we do to make it better? I just gave you 3 minutes. Raise your hand if you are not done. Okay. I'll give you guys about 1 more minute.
I'm checking off phones as I'm sitting here, so if you haven't put your phone up and you don't want to lose credit, go put it in the phone holder.
as for the rest of you, I am just going to pick out popsicle sticks, and then whoever I call, you will come up and fix the sentence. Okay, so number 11.
Oh, that's an empty desk. Pick a different one.
Okay. Number 6.
You need a period at the end.
Okay. Yeah, we need a period at the end. Because that's telling us that we're stopping the sentence. We're stopping our thought. Okay, number 7. Yeah, good job. So I need a capital at the beginning of our sentence. We always have to use capitals. Okay, number 1. Want to come up, or did you want me to? Yep, we need an E at the end of because. Number 8. So at the zoo, we encountered an ant either with a large proboscis, but its huge nose is appropriate because it needs to smell in order to find its food. So what do you see wrong in a sentence? Comma after. Sorry, I can't hear you.
Anteater.
Anteater? No, not exactly. But there is a couple of commas in there. Okay. So number 26.
What do you see, Leo? Anything?
Okay, number 30.
We do need a comma somewhere.
Yes.
A couple commas, actually.
After a comma after proboscis.
Mm-hmm.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay, number 18. Number 18. Is there anyone in that seat?
Is it Trey? Trey?
Yeah, okay, Trey. Did you want to come up and do it, or did you want me to do it? Okay, sounds good. So, where can you see a problem? Not quite. So, if it's a proper noun, we capitalize it. So that would be like name, state. But since this isn't really a proper noun, we call it a common noun. We don't have to capitalize it. Okay, number 5. So where can you see that we can fix the sentence? So I will give you a hint. There's something that needs to be put in this line, and then something that needs to be fixed in this line, and something that needs to be fixed in this line. appropriate because it needs to smell in order to find its food.
Should we raise our hand?
So at the zoo, we encountered an anteater. What do you think needs to be put there? Comma. And where is that comma supposed to go? Yes, behind. Okay. Number 10. Oh. So we only have about 2 more mistakes we need to fix. So do you know one of the mistakes? So it's in, let's see, it's in this line and in this line. There's something that we need to do with its.
You don't have to calculate it, right?
No.
I don't know.
So it has to do with the apostrophe. So you learn the possessive form of it. So what do we do when the it is possessive? No. No apostrophe? Is that what you said? Yeah, no apostrophe. You did really good. You did good. You just forgot it. It's all good. Sometimes we do that. Okay, so with that being said, number 22.
Oh, there's no one.
And number 4. So if this, we did that to this it, what do you think we need to do to this it?
Oh, the thing we got from there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Do you think there needs to be anything else that needs to be fixed in there? You think it looks pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Rocha can go to the next.
Okay, so here's kind of what your finished product is gonna look like. If you wanna check to make sure you had all of those things, maybe look at the board and double check that yours looks just like that. And then on the vocab, if you look over to your left on the board there, there's 4, 5, and 6 for encountered, appropriate, and proboscis. Just copy those down on 4, 5, and 6. It looks like, yeah, 6 is spelled a little wrong, but you guys can get it.
That was Miss Benoli's fault. She was not thinking today. Okay, so does everybody got this right here? Okay, so next we're going to go to stems.
Do you want to do the ball again, or do you want to have them write them, or what do you think?
So what do you guys want to do? You guys want to write down or ball? We're gonna do ball.
I probably shouldn't have mentioned it if we weren't going to do it, huh?
I'll get the ball out.
So tell them the rules in case they're new to my class, because some of them have never done this before.
So I am going to call a name, and since and then as soon as I call that name, I'm going to throw the ball to that person, and then that person, I will give them a stem, and they're going to have to answer it. And if they answer correctly, then they get to call another person, and then we'll just continue to fill them all and answer stats.
If you need to. We only learned them yesterday, so if you need to peek, you can.
Oh, that was it.
I just want mine from last year.
Were you guys able to get this? All of you?
I printed off a few extra of these green ones because some of you had said you lost them.
What list are we on?
We're on list 6. Yeah, except I didn't hole punch them, sorry. If you want to hole punch them, you have this right here. Got a few extras up here if people need them, but that's
Okay, so if you guys want to stand up, so we know who has the ball. So, and then we'll just go with all. Okay, so Riker. Okay, so. Number 6. Okay, so what is the meaning of more?
Sheep.
Good job.
Jaden.
And then once you throw the ball, just sit down. Okay, Jason. What is the meaning of jet?
Throw.
Yeah. Good job.
Emma.
Okay. What is the meaning of knob?
Knob, middle.
Okay. Okay, what is the meaning of vest? Okay, what is the meaning of dots? Good job. Okay, what is the meaning of loco? Loco, so it's L-O-C-O. So please, good job. Okay, so what is the meaning of bending? So if we're thinking of the word benefit, so if you're benefiting from something, is it bad or? Okay, so what is the meaning of amethyst?
What?
Amethyst.
Empty.
Yeah, amethyst, there we go.
Both.
Philip, good job. Okay, what is the meaning of magnet? So think of the word magnet.
Oh, great. I knew that.
Okay. Okay, what is the meaning of? So what do you do when you're in your dorm?
Sleep?
Yeah. Okay, what is the meaning of punk? Mhm. So if you think of the word puncture. Point, yep, good job. Anyway, it's all good. What is the meaning of pond?
Of what?
Pond.
What is that?
Wait.
Wait. local. Place, good job. What is the meaning of answer? Good job.
Sorry.
Okay, what is the meaning of vest? Good job. Okay, what is the meaning of chin? Chin or shuns? Yeah, shuns. There we go. Yeah, TION. So think of participation. What am I doing? Yep, there you go.
That's my middle name. That's not me.
Okay, what is the meaning of benefit?
I'm just.
So if I'm benefiting from something, is it good or bad?
Good.
Good job.
You're gonna keep the ball.
I think we're good. We're good. Okay. Oh, should I keep the ball?
I want to keep the ball.
I want to keep the ball.
Can I keep the ball? I think the podium's gonna keep the ball. So you guys are really good on that. You guys are awesome. Just for having it for like one day, I don't think I would be able to do that. Okay, so now we're going to go to learning about the second part of our complements, which is our indirect objects. But before we talk about indirect objects, I heard that you guys were, a little birdie told me that you guys talked about direct objects yesterday. So, who can tell me what a direct object is? Yeah, it's something that receives the action. So it's directly receiving the action. So that's where the direct in the object comes from. So now we're going to learn about indirect objects. So, Ms. Rhodes, did you want to pull up this one?
Yes, sorry. A lot of things happening here. There you go.
Okay, you can go to the second side. Okay, so first off, this is going to be very important to direct or indirect objects. So first off, what is a beneficiary?
So do you guys know what a will is? Have your parents ever talked about writing a will before?
My parents have written.
Okay. So if you've ever seen a will, one of the first questions they ask you is, who's your beneficiary? What is that? Did you just barely leave the room? Try to stay here for a little while. Yes, what do you think, Rex?
Who gets your money?
Yeah, it's like, who gets your money? Who's gonna benefit if you die, basically? Who's your beneficiary? So we're talking about this, it's gonna have to do with indirect objects because it has something to do with who's benefiting in the sentence, okay? So here's the answer to that.
So, just like Ms. Rhodes said, most people write a will at some point. So it's a document, what we just said, that tells who's supposed to receive your house, your money, and all your stuff when you die. So basically the beneficiary is the person who you choose to receive all your stuff. A beneficiary is someone who benefits. So the indirect object benefits from the action of the verb, or from the verb. So you can go to the next slide. Okay, why do I tell you this? Just like a beneficiary gets something and someone dies, so just like I was saying, the indirect object is the beneficiary of the action verb in a sentence. So an indirect object is to whom or for whom the action was done. You can go to the next slide. Oh wait, yes. You guys need to write this down?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll give you a couple minutes.
Yeah, so good idea to write this down because like I said, on Friday you're gonna have to know the difference between a direct object, an indirect object, and then the predicate adjectives and nouns that we haven't done yet. But yesterday we were talking about direct objects. So it's like who, if you find the verb and ask what, like Jace threw Jaden the ball, right? So what did he throw? You find the verb and say threw what? The ball, right? So ball is the direct object. But now today we're talking about these indirect objects, which is who's going to be the beneficiary of that sentence. So who got the ball thrown to them? Jaden, right? So Jaden now is the indirect object. The indirect object is to whom or for whom the action of the sentence was done, okay? So not every sentence will have an indirect object, but some will have both a direct and an indirect object. It just depends on the sentence. So maybe make a note in your notebook, indirect objects to whom or for whom the action was done. That's going to be something to remember.
Okay, I'll give you one.
There's some, actually I'll just give you these.
Who's writing it down on the?
Yeah. But maybe, Jace, I would maybe not write it down on your green STEMS packet because we're going to take that STEMS quiz on the same day as we take this test. And I might be like, hey, you can't have that out. You can just have your notes out for the test. But they'd be like, no, you have to put that away. So I would maybe have it in a separate place, like in a notebook or on a piece of loose leaf paper.
Just somewhere where you can go back and reference it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we think we're good to move on.
Okay. I'm going to actually skip that. So that's the overview of the unit, which you guys should already have in your notes from yesterday. And then yesterday we talked about direct objects, how they complement the action verb. And then I'm going to skip that too. So maybe write down indirect objects, the beneficiary of the action verb. Like who's receiving the thing in the sentence. Okay?
Okay, so you guys good on this one?
Okay.
Okay, we're good. Okay, so we're just gonna go through a couple of examples really quickly. So the first example.
Oh, hi.
Got it?
Here you go.
Okay, so Christoph gave Anna a cake. So the first thing we do, which Ms. Rose pointed out, is you have to find the verb. So what is the verb in the sentence? Gave. Okay, and then what is to give or make? A cake. Good job. And then who's benefiting? Anna is benefiting. Good job. So you can go to the next couple of steps. So exactly. So first off, the action verb is gave. What is the direct object? Gave what? Cake. Lastly, what is the direct object? Ask to whom or who is benefiting? Anna is benefiting. So the direct object tells to whom, for whom, or the action was done. It is the beneficiary or the action. So
No, wait, go back.
Oh, sorry, wait. Yeah, it's kind of good to maybe silently read over that from your desk. So I always would write, if I was you guys, in my notes, I would write, how do we find that? Okay, so direct object, find the verb and ask what? Indirect object, ask to whom or for whom it was done. So that's kind of how you keep it straight in your mind.
good. Okay. Is everybody else good to go? Okay. So we can go on to the next slide real quick.
Okay, maybe call on them now.
Okay, so I'm gonna call on you guys, and you guys have to come up and identify the direct object. So just circle the indirect object.
So do you want to actually have them label? Put like a V above the verb, a DO above the direct object, and an IO above the indirect object.
Yeah.
We'll make them do all three.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so you're gonna put a V above the verb, and then DO above the direct object, and IO above the indirect object. Okay. I'm gonna try and call on different people this time. 27.
If you want to write the word out on the side, you could do that too and just label it or whatever you want to do. Okay, good. Perfect. So you guys all see that? So he's got car as the direct object because you say sold what is the car, so that's the direct object. And then me is who's benefiting. Me can be an indirect object. It's usually going to be a noun or a pronoun, but it's like who's getting the car? Me. Me is getting the car. That's good grammar. All right, here's the next one so you can think while she picks a stick.
Number, what do you call them here? What do they call that one too? Number 19. Good job. That was really good. You guys are doing awesome on this. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so here's the answer. She had them right, but taught was the verb. Direct object taught what? Grammar. Indirect object to whom or for whom? She taught it to Robert, so Robert's indirect object.
Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more. Okay, give you a couple minutes to work on this, and then I'm gonna choose the people. So I'll give you about probably 30 seconds,
30.
or a minute. Come on, think. It won't take long.
Sorry to come up there while they're writing, but I'm gonna grab the puzzle pieces that have been turning in for second hour because Bella's back here grading late.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay, if you're still working on it, try to get it done maybe by the end of the hour.
Okay, so I'm gonna choose some people, and again, you're just gonna label the verb, the direct object, and the indirect object. So number 5.
These are second hour too.
That's kind of plain. A lot of color on it. But like,
Number 9.
should I just cut it out or should I just like?
Okay.
Right then.
Did you want to come up and do it?
Yeah.
Okay, come up and do it.
Should I bring my paper or should
You can do both. Whatever best suits you. And whatever will help you most. Yeah, that's good. You did good. High five. So verb is gave, the direct object, because they're giving corn. So that's what's received in the verb directly. And then gave who's benefiting? The colonist. So the colonist is the indirect object. Okay, so you can go to the next one.
So Native Americans are the subject of the sentence. Sorry, I'm just answering Jace's question loudly. But Native Americans are not going to be the indirect object because they're the subject. They're the ones doing the giving. So usually the indirect object is going to follow the verb somewhere. Like you're going to say, well, who got the corn? Who benefited from this action of giving corn? Oh, the colonists. They were the ones who benefited. So think of it as like that living will, like who gets the thing? Who's the beneficiary? In this case, the colonists. They were the ones that got the corn, okay? Let's do maybe one more, and then I'm going to let them open up their assignment and start looking at those, okay?
Okay, we give you about 30 seconds to work on this one. We gotta get going. Grammar is kind of hard. It does give you a headache sometimes, but it does strengthen your writing. Like, that's mainly why we do it, to help you become better writers. 20. So just label the verb, the direct object, and the indirect objects. Good job. High five. Okay, so just like she had answered, verb is it said is the verb. The direct object is a letter because they're sending a letter, and then who is benefiting? Their family or his family. So now you guys can get out your Chromebooks and then go to the assignment and then just answer the question of the indirect object.
So we're gonna go log into Schoology like you did yesterday, and then it's gonna be on the top right corner under the upcoming tab. Not tab, it'll just be on the right hand side of the screen really. Okay, here is third hour if you're feeling ambitious.
What if they're not benefiting? What if?
Yeah, sometimes, okay, Zemi asked a funny question. Sorry, Zemi, not funny. A good question. A thought-provoking question, if you will. She said, what if they're not benefiting? What if the sentence is like something bad? Like, there is actually a question in the assignment that uses the word never, and I can't remember what it says exactly, but it says something like, never give a hungry bear your lunch or something like that. Like that could turn out bad, right? They're not really benefiting. But who would hypothetically be benefiting from that lunch? The bear, right? So you're still finding the verb and you're still saying to whom or for whom was the action done for, even if it might turn out badly in the story, like the bear might kill you. I mean, it's still maybe not a benefit, but it could be a negative sentence. Hypothetically. Yeah, then I mean you lose, but okay, so as you're getting logged in, yes, question, Keegan? So after this, as long as you've got your puzzle piece done, then you'll probably end up having some free time because I wanted to make sure you had enough time. So she's probably gonna pull up this assignment, I'll get it ready for you. And then you guys might have some questions for her as you're working on it. So I'm just gonna open it and make it big so that you can ask those as you're working on it, okay? So I'm going to go to Schoology. If you're new to the class, a reminder, this is what you do. I know some of you that just joined have only done this once or twice so far. So you're going to go into your class, which is period 2. It's like a pink colored. And then right here at the top right side where it says upcoming, this is where you're going to see Tuesday, December 3rd, which is today. And it'll say day 2, indirect object assignment. So for those of you that were not here yesterday, like we had a couple I know that weren't here, you're going to want to also see if you have time to do the day 1 assignment. And if it's not there because it's not today anymore, you have to go into the red grammar folder right here. So if you scroll down, it has like welcome, bell work, Greek and Latin stems, and then it says grammar. If you click that, this has all of the PowerPoints in there. So if you guys ever go on a vacation and you're like, oh no, I don't know how to do the assignment, just click on Grammar Unit 1, where we're at right now, and then you can click on Day 1, Day 2, Day 3, and you can see from Day 1, here was Mrs. Rhodes' notes from yesterday. See, like just like we did in class. Does that look familiar? So all of these are there for you. They really encourage teachers to do this during COVID. So I just started doing it and I never stopped. So if you're ever absent, look over those notes first, and then go into the corresponding, there's all your scores, the corresponding assignments, and then hopefully you can do those with the notes even open in another tab if you want, that's fine. Because you can use your notes, you can use those on the assignments, okay? So for today, day 2, indirect objects, and it has 20 questions just like yesterday. So I'm gonna open it right now, and when you get there, it should say start new attempt if you refresh your page, okay? And then the first one is a question about ancient Rome, it says. Ancient Rome gave its citizens many free shows. I'm going to turn off the lights. Okay, so ask yourself today, indirect object, who is benefiting or who's getting this action of the sentence? Anyone want to raise their hand and take a guess? Oh, Hadley.
I was actually gonna ask her
Let's do a couple together first, and then when she says, then you can work with someone. But let's do the first maybe 3 together. So raise your hand if you think you know the answer to number 1. Oh, Hadley does. What do you think, Hadley?
Citizens, yep.
That is correct. So you're going to just highlight it, and then you can even drop and drag it. Pull it down into that blank right there. So if you highlight citizens, it should let you hold it down and drag it into that box. And so make sure when you're doing this assignment, again, like yesterday, do not include the adjective before the noun. It's usually going to be a 1-word answer unless it's something like New York City. That's all part of that noun, okay? So then that would be 3 parts.
The second
So
one
not
is
little.
us.
Nope. What were you going to say, Riker?
On number 2, the person benefiting is us.
Okay, perfect. Good. It might be a pronoun even. Sometimes, usually it's a noun. Sometimes it's a pronoun like us. Because it says the balloonist gave us a ride over Lake Champion. So it might be a name, or it might be like us or me or I. It could be any like name for a person. Usually it's a person or an animal or a pronoun or something like that nature if it's an indirect object. Keegan's got his hand up. What do you think, Keegan?
5, do you have to put little brother or just brother?
Okay, what is little? So what do you think? Yeah, so just put brother, okay? Because we don't want, yeah, it's an adjective. We don't want little though, because it's describing the brother. Same. Another one that's kind of tricky that people were messing up on was number 11 right here. It says the cougar taught her cub a lesson in hunting, and a lot of people were including her. But why is that wrong? Should I include her? Yeah, Cash. Yeah, her is an adjective describing the cub technically. So we don't want her, we just want cub. Okay?
All we want is the indirect object.
Yep. Okay, raise your hand if you get stuck. Oh, Jace?
8 on 8, how do you do like, because it's like a question,
Mm-hmm.
so is it still just you because it's
You.
Yep, it's still just you. Because you is gonna get, this is really good grammar, but you is gonna get the blueberries. You is gonna benefit.
Okay.
Number 9,
For number 9, would it be me because it doesn't say like.
Yep. Because you or me is gonna get the mitt.
13 would be teammates, right?
I shouldn't say the mitt, you get the $10. What did you say, Jaden?
13.
13, let's get 13. Yep, just teammates.
10 would be person, right?
Yep. They didn't what? Oh, they didn't mark it. Put in the special notes that they forgot to mark it, and I'll ask her. Make sure you do spell these right though, because that will mark it wrong if you misspell. So I like the copy drag method.
Wait, 14.
Yeah, who's getting the corn?
The satellite.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't sure if it was because they were buying it or because they were selling it to them.
for 15, do you have to put United States?
Yeah, so 15 is that kind of example like New York City where it's part of the proper noun to say United and States. See how they're both capitalized? So that's like the whole thing together is one noun. It's not really an adjective type of thing. Kind of look at the capitalization for clues. Yeah, there's a difference in number 17 versus number, what was the other one? 11. 17 versus 11, those are 2 different uses of the word her. In 11, it's saying her cub, but in 17, it's just saying her, right? So is it okay to put her in 17?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is the only thing you can put. That's the indirect object. It's not describing another person. It's just saying her. That's the pronoun. So that's kind of a tricky different one.
After we submit it.
Yeah, so after you submit it, let's ask Miss Benali. I don't know if she has, I don't think she has anything else, but.
Mrs. Rose, I called the direct objects.
You put all the what?
Direct objects.
Oh no, you did the opposite. How about this? I'm gonna let me turn off my screen for a second so no one can see all of the other answers. But I'm gonna let you redo it, okay?
Yeah.
So let me just, I'll reopen it for you. Just a second. Sorry. What's up, Hadley? For what? Oh, her? Oh yeah, go ahead and ask. Miss Benelli, call on Hadley.
Hadley?
When you submitted it, are you done with the public?
Yeah.
Yes.
But leave them on your desk. If you want, you can play a game. Or make sure your puzzle piece is done as well. Okay, Grant, this should be unsubmitted. Do you know how to get back into it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my email. If you need help or if you have a question, just raise your hand. Hopefully you guys did okay on that. Yeah, if you want to get your phones, we have about 9 minutes left of class. So you're welcome to finish your puzzle piece if you need your phone to do a quote. Otherwise, you can have free time if all your work is done. Okay, do you want me to stop this?
Yeah.